of all, but boy, Cincinnati's had plenty of them just in your lifetime, haven't they?
Well, the Reds of the 70s, and of course Purcell football back in the 50s, and Roger Bacon in the 60s. And Nick, to be honest with you, I think the Bengals might be coming up with a dynasty right now. I said that on national TV last year because they were in the Super Bowl last year, and they got a good chance of going all the way this year. And, and they're so young, and that's what it takes to build a dynasty, young and desire. And
you remember that Bentley Post dynasty too, back
Joe
in the 40s,
Hawk had all
50s?
those great teams, and that was in the 40s and early 50s. And there's been so many around here, we as fans have really been spoiled in this area.
Anytime there's a dynasty, people start pointing fingers at it. They start wanting to say, let's break it up, you know, let's break them up, let's see what's going on here. And there must be something wrong going on. We're talking about Moeller, of course, Moeller and the great dynasty they have had. And people want to point at them and say, well, they must be doing something wrong over there.
Well, in the next couple of years, Nick, I was talking to Coach Klonne yesterday, and they're going to have problems getting games because nobody wants to play them. Like Princeton's going to play them next year for the last time. A couple of teams up in Cleveland don't want to play them anymore, and it's going to be tough for Moeller to get games. With this new setup for the playoffs, it's going to be hard. Why should you want to play Moeller twice? Because they blow you out, you don't make the playoffs. But it's a tough situation, and it's just something that if I was a Massillon or a Canton McKinley or somebody, an Alliance or somebody like that, a football power, I would want to play Moeller. I would want to go after the best to try to prove that I can beat the best.
But your job in this case was to go out there and see if you could find out what made it happen for them.
They got such a tradition out there. When you walk in the place, you walk in right into school yesterday, the first thing you see is 4 real nice ladies selling state champion sweatshirts, Moeller sweatshirts, and just everybody you talk to, they just have such an atmosphere, just such a winning atmosphere. I've never been to South Bend at Notre Dame, but I can't see much difference in walking into Moeller or walking into Notre Dame. Just there's more people.
We'll have to ask Jerry about that, huh?
He was there yesterday.
In the meantime, let's take a look at this report from Pete Rose on Moeller.
When you think about Moeller High School, you think about football, state championships, national rankings, and of course, Jerry Faust. In the past 8 years, Moeller has won the state championship 6 times and been rated #1 nationally 5 times. In the past 3 years, they've had 3 different coaches while losing 1 game. The question is, how do they do it?
They work hard, and they work harder than anybody else. And I think our coaching staff works harder than anybody else. And I think that's a big part of it.
But besides hard work, desire, talent, and almost year-round workout.
Family feeling here is a big part of it, and there's a lot of love in this place. And I think that really is, you know, people haven't really talked about that much, but the Moeller family means a lot to us.
I think really Notre Dame is a big Moeller, and I think Moeller's a small Notre Dame.
A lot of people think that. I think that's what Jerry thought. I don't think he would have won anywhere else but Notre Dame because he thought it was a big Moeller.
Academics here are important, very important. In fact, college recruiters come from coast to coast to evaluate performances in the classroom as well as on the field.
Their grades mean a lot to them. Academically, the atmosphere here is...
You really stress that, huh?
Sure, you got to stress it. And they're very concerned about academics. Like Hiawatha is being recruited right now, and you know, I won't bring him out of any class, but 6th grade study hard at the end of the day. I mean, because he just, you know, he needs to be in that class.
Back in the 50s, Purcell was king. It was Roger Bacon in the 60s. But by the 70s, Moeller became the team no one could beat. In fact, recently, some schools have said they don't want to play Moeller anymore. Take the Elder Panthers. This year they were 7-3, which is good enough for 3rd place in the GCL. How do they feel about playing against the Moeller dynasty?
Well, it's obviously challenging. The kids look forward to it. Usually there's a very large crowd, and it's a lot of fun to be in. We haven't done as well as we'd like, but it's frustrating. Moeller has a reputation nationwide as a powerhouse. That's what brought Shane Bullough to the Crusaders.
We've been here 3 years now, and when I decided to come with the Cincinnati Bengals and work for the Browns and Coach Greg, my boy was in the 9th grade at that time. That's the first year that he had played high school football. He had played football. And he'd mentioned to me, he said, "Dad, boy, I sure would like to move into the Moeller district." And I said, "Moeller, what do you know about Moeller?" He said, "Well, my high school coach heard Coach Faust speak at a clinic, and he said, look at these books," and he had books on Moeller High School, and of course I had known him because I had recruited in the area, and I said, okay. I said, well, that's what we'll do. And so we went over there and we talked to the father first of all, the principal, and then we went and talked to Jerry, and they had a winter program going on, and he saw them practice, and Jerry allowed him to follow the sophomores, the freshmen at that time who would be sophomores with him around to the different stations, and he spent about an hour looking at lifting weights and program and so forth like that. And then I asked him what he thought. He said, well, Dad, he said, I think I'm, you know, a good enough athlete to play with these guys. He said that, and he really liked what he liked the discipline of the school. He liked the educational part of it, and he just liked the whole atmosphere.
Can't really describe it. You're told you're the #1 high school in the country, and you don't just you're not just given that. You got to earn every bit of that, and you get to be around great people like Mr. Klonne, the head coach, and all the assistant coaches, and you get a lot of publicity, and you play with a family. Moeller is a family.
Moeller is a family.
That's an all-state linebacker talking right there.
Pete, they're losing 41 seniors. Is this the end of the dynasty?
No, Nick, you know, they blow so many teams out that the sophomores and the freshmen and the juniors get to play so much. They get so much experience that they grow up learning how to win. Elder, who had a real good year this year, is going to lose 34 seniors, and Moeller dresses out 80 players. So they'll have over half of them coming, just about half of them coming back next year.
Those 41 seniors, you wanted to make a point about that. Quite a few of them are going to be going to college, aren't they?
Like I said earlier, that in the last 8 years, they won 6 state titles, and they've got 160 scholarships for their athletes in the last 8 years. And Coach Klonne told me that probably 25 of the 41 seniors that get college educations this year.
No wonder the kids want to play there.
If my kid could play football, I'd want him to go there.
Thanks very much, Pete. We'll be back in a moment.